Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to learn to use completing the square method to change the quadratic expression of the form ax square plus bx plus c to the form a x minus h the whole square plus k. So we have to convert any quadratic expression of this form to this form. H and k can be any decimal, any integer or any fraction. Now to convert this, you need to know some basic algebra identities. To start with, this is the first identity which you have learned, that is a plus b whole squared. The whole term is squared. So we can express it as a square plus 2 times ab plus b squared. This is the first identity you have to know. So for example, if an identity is given as, or any question is given as x plus 2 the whole squared, we can use this identity to expand this x plus 2 the whole squared. So we can write it as x squared plus 2 times x times 2 plus 2 squared. Simplifying it, we get it as x squared plus 4x plus 2 squared. I have kept it as 2 squared here. I did not write it as 4 because I wanted to show you the relationship between this form and this form. As you can see, x squared is written as x. The sign of 4x, which is plus, is written here, and 2 squared is written as 2. And the entire thing is squared. This is what relation you have to know for completing the square method. So if you understand this, half of the things will be easy. Now the second identity you will use here is a minus b the whole term squared. So you can use this as, or expand this as, a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Let me take the same example with the same terms but with a negative sign. So we can write it as x minus 2 the whole term squared equals x squared minus 2 times x times 2 plus 2 squared. So again, simplifying it, we can write it as x squared minus 2 times 2 is 4 times x plus 2 squared. Now again, x minus 2 the whole squared. The expansion of this is this. This is all you need to know in this completing the square method topic. Now keeping in mind these basic things, the identities as well, let us start with our first question. Show that x squared plus 6x plus 11 can be written as x plus p the whole term squared plus q, where p and q are integers to be found. So here what we are going to do is, let us take only the first two terms, that is x square plus 6x. So we write x square plus 6x. Now take the number which is along with x, that is 6, and divide it by 2. So we get it as 3. So this 3 we are going to adjust to this term. So we are going to write it as x squared plus 6x plus 3 squared and minus 3 squared. This is how you are going to make the number to be adjusted with the expression. Now, as explained earlier, x square plus 6x plus 3 square. Look at these three terms. They quite resemble the format which I just showed. That is x square plus 4x plus 2 square, which can be written as x plus 2 the whole term squared. So we can write it as x plus 3 the whole term squared using the identity, and this minus 3 squared will be written as minus 9. Now coming back to the question, we had done or taken only x squared plus 6x plus 11. So we had taken only x squared plus 6x from the term. Now let us take the entire term, that is x square plus 6x plus 11. Now x square plus 6x, we had got it as x plus 3 the whole term squared minus 9. Now add this plus 11. So we get it as x plus 3 the whole term squared minus 9 plus 11 gives you plus 2. So now we have got it in the form x plus p the whole term squared plus q. So comparing these two terms, we get p as equal to 3 and q as equal to 2, and these two are the integers as it was mentioned in the question. Let us look at the next example. Express 2x square minus 24x plus 80 in the form a x minus b the whole square plus c. So we have to use the completing the square method to change the quadratic expression into this format. For that, what we have to do is we are going to take only the first two terms, that is 2x square minus 24x. Now I am going to factorize these two terms. That is, I am going to take the 2 common out, and in the bracket remains x square minus 12x. Now after doing this, I am going to take the bracket term, that is x square minus 12x. For this I am going to apply completing the square method. That is, the first term stays the same, that is x square. Now the number or the coefficient with x, that is 12, we have to divide it by 2. This is the same for all the questions regarding completing the square. The x coefficient needs to be divided by 2, so we get it as 6. So we write x square minus 12x, and this 6 which we got by dividing the x term, we have to add it first and square it, and we have to subtract the same number and square it. Now again, using the identity, we can change these first 3 terms as x, then take the sign of the x term minus 6, this one, the whole term squared, minus 6 squared can be written as now 36. So this is what we get by solving the x square minus 12x. Now let us get back over here. X square minus 12x was multiplied by 2. That's why 2 times x squared minus 12x, we write it as now 2 times, in place of x square minus 12x, we will write the value which we have got here, that is x minus 6 the whole squared minus 36. So let us expand and distribute the brackets. So 2 multiplies with x minus 6 the whole squared. So it becomes 2 times x minus 6 the whole squared. And 2 also multiplies with negative 36, giving us negative 72. Now, after doing this, we have to look back at the question. 2 times x square minus 12x was only the first 2 terms, but we need to add plus 80 to it. So now what we are going to do is, that is 2x squared minus 24x plus 80. So we are adding the 80 now, equals whatever answer you had got here, you are going to add 80 to it. So we get 2x minus 6 the whole squared minus 72 plus 80. So we get finally the answer as 2 times x minus 6 the whole term squared, and negative 72 and positive 80 gives us positive 8. So now we have got the answer in the form they wanted us to get the answer. That is a x minus b the whole squared plus c. So now we have got it as a x minus b the whole squared plus c. So now we have to find the values of a, b and c. Again we are going to compare the values. So here a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 6 and c is equal to 8. So this is the answer. We have changed the quadratic expression to the completing square form. Now this is another question on completing the square method. You can pause the video and try it out yourself. Now to solve this, we are going to use the same method we had used for the previous examples. 3x square plus 18x minus 1. So I am going to take here only the first 2 terms. That is 3x square plus 18x. Now we have to factorize it. So we have to take something common out from these 2 terms. So the common term we can think about here is 3, because 18 also can be written as 3 times 6 times x. So as you can see, 3 is common in these 2 terms. We can take 3 out and in the bracket we write x square plus 6x. Next we are going to take the x square plus 6x term. So let us take only the bracket terms, x square plus 6x. And as we know, we have to divide the x coefficient by 2 again. So we get it as a 3. So we can write it as now x square plus 6x plus 3 square and minus 3 square. Remember, the plus term needs to be written first, followed by the minus term. Always. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to combine the first 3 terms using the identities we have learned. So we write it as x, then the sign, plus, and then 3. The whole term squared minus 3 squared is 9. Now this was only x square plus 6x. Now there was 3 as well. So now 3x square plus 6x. So we got to multiply this answer by 3. x plus 3 the whole squared minus 9. So let us distribute the bracket. So 3 multiplies with the bracket, giving us 3 times x plus 3 the whole squared, and then 3 multiplies with negative 9, giving us negative 27. Now initially we had taken only the first two terms. Now we need to include the negative one. So we are going to write it as 3x squared plus 18x minus 1 equals 3 times x plus 3 the whole squared minus 27 minus 1. So we get 3 x plus 3 the whole squared minus 28. So this is what you get it in the form a x plus b the whole squared plus c. So this is written as a x plus b the whole squared plus c. Now again, by comparison, we get a as 3, we get b as 3, and we get c as negative 28. So this is your answer. If you have tried the example, and I hope you have got the same answer. Now let us look at another example. Solve the following using completing the square method. X squared, that minus 7x plus 9. Now in this example, again we are going to take the first two terms, that is x square minus 7x. Now we are going to take the coefficient of x and divide it by 2. Now as you can see, 7 does not go in the table of 2. So you can either keep it as 7 over 2, or you can also change it to decimals as 3.5. Now in this case I'm going to keep it as a fraction. So now what I'm going to do is, I'll take x square minus 7x, and then we have to add 7 over 2 squared, and we have to subtract 7 over 2 squared. The same way, if you want to keep it as a decimal, you can just write here 3.5 square minus 3.5 square. It's totally up to you. Now after doing this, we have to take again the identity, that is we are going to combine the first three terms and write it as x. Now take the sign of the x term minus, then the last term 7 over 2 squared, and minus 7 square is 49 and 2 square is 4. This is what we get for x square minus 7x. Now we will add the plus 9 which we had left earlier. So x square minus 7x plus 9 equals, so it is x minus 7 over 2 the whole squared minus 49 over 4 plus a 9. Now the first term will be staying the same, x minus 7 over 2 the whole squared. Now to solve this, I'm going to use the LCM method. So this becomes 9 over 1. So I multiply this with 4 and here also with 4. So I get it as minus 49 over 4 plus 9 times 4 is 36 over 4. So we can further simplify this as x minus 7 over 2 the whole squared minus, since the denominators are same, I can combine the numerators and write it as minus 49 plus 36 whole thing over 4. So last step, that is, we are going to write it as x minus 7 over 2 the whole squared. Minus 49 plus 36 gives you minus 13 over 4. So you can get the answer as a fraction, or you can always change it as a decimal. So this is going to be a final answer for the completing of square method. So we have changed the quadratic expression as a completing a square method format. Now this is another question. Solve by completing the square. 4x square minus 12x minus 4 equals 12. This is absolutely the same kind of questions which have been appeared in the previous questions with a slight change. Now to solve this, what we can do is we can write it as 4x square minus 12x minus 4. Now we can take the plus 12 on this side, so it becomes minus 12 equals 0. Now we can further write it as 4x square minus 12x and minus 16 equals 0. Now we can see that 4, 12 and negative 16 all are divisible by 4. So to simplify the expression, we can always use this and divide all the terms by 4 on the left hand side and also on the right hand side. So we get here as x square, it is a simplified expression, minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. Now we have to use the completing the square method to solve this expression now. So what we are going to do is, again we are going to take the first two terms only. So write it as x square minus 3x, and then we are going to take the coefficient which is with x, that is 3, and divide it by 2. So we get here as, I'm going to take it as a decimal here, 1.5. So we can write here now as x square minus 3x, then again plus should be written first, 1.5 squared and minus 1.5 squared. Now using the identity, again we are going to take the first three terms and write it as x minus 1.5 the whole squared, and minus 1.5 squared gives you minus 2.25. Now let us combine all the terms together now. So negative 4 which we had left, we are going to take it now and write it as x square minus 3x minus 4. So it becomes x minus 1.5 squared minus 2.25 and minus 4 equals 0, because it was equal to 0 here. So we write it now as x minus 1.5 squared, and this becomes minus 2.25 and minus 4 gives you minus 6.25. 6.25 equals 0. Now we have to solve this expression. So what we can do is we can take the negative 6.25 on the other side and write the term as x minus 1.5 the whole squared equals 6.25. Now the next thing we got to do is, when we are shifting the square on the other side, it changes to square root. So it becomes x minus 1.5 equals plus or minus square root of 6.25. So when the square is shifting on the other side, it always becomes plus minus square root. Now further simplifying it, we get it as x minus 1.5 equals plus or minus the square root of 6.25 is 2.5. So now we have to solve it two times. Once taking it as plus 2.5 and once taking it as minus 2.5. So we have x minus 1.5 equals 2.5 and x minus 1.5 equals minus 2.5. So we are going to solve it as x equals 2.5. This goes on the other side, so it turns to plus 1.5. So we get the value of x as 4 here, and here we get it as x equals negative 2.5 and minus 1.5 shifts here and becomes plus 1.5, giving us the answer as negative 1. So in this example, we have solved the quadratic expression by changing it into completing the square and then getting the values of x. Since they have told us to solve by completing the square, we are going to find the values of x. So x equal to 4 and x equal to negative 1. So if you are liking the videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.